Welcome back. Last time we fixed the lodestones, compasses and artifacts, and this time we're going to get the map fixed. What is the map? This is the map. So what's the map for? You get a map dropped at the start of your run in this room along with your compass. The map shows you your current status, and it does this by showing you how many cards you have left, what your Clank and hazard block are, and it also shows you how much treasure and frost embers you have queued up, which rolls a chance to drop these on your current level in the dungeon. So it's pretty useful both for running the dungeon and debugging it. And for me, debugging is going to be very, very useful. So what do we need to fix? First, the maps that are dropped are not showing the map area, but another part of the world. I don't know why they get converted like this, but they do, so in the bin with these. Now we do a flypass to get a new map, we make a ton of copies, we get these loaded into a dropper for the start room, and we're good. Well, we would be if the map Redstone worked. Java. We can split the redstone into two main parts. Down here we have a counting system. We want to count up as things like cards and treasure get added, and count down when they get played in the game. Then we have the display, which is pushing blocks up and down so they can be seen on the map. Now, this counting part of the system works in Bedrock, which is both great news and a surprise, as it's 90% voodoo. Connecting the counting redstone to each card module are observers with powered rails. These ultimately fire sticky pistons, which in Java one tick up and leave the blocks behind, or retract them down. This is, of course, not Bedrock friendly. So we need to rip all of this out and find something else that we can squeeze into the space we have. For the display, I've looked at a few designs. Ones that use redstone torches to fire all the pistons without interfering with the adjacent card display modules, and ones that use slime and honey blocks with fewer pistons. I'm drawn to the slime and honey because it feels simpler to me and it looks nicer too. Aesthetics are important, even in redstone. Because we're using slime and honey, sounds delicious, we need to replace the blocks around each module with blocks that can't be moved, like obsidian or glazed terracotta. And this means we need to do some shopping. Okay, so we've got all of our materials, and now all we need to do is go and build the modules. But first, there's something very important I need to update, and you may have seen this in Tango streams. Ah, that's better. Now, let's get on with building some redstone. So to get the obsidian in, all I'm doing is quickly breaking a block and then placing the obsidian very quickly. So I have to do that so the water doesn't flow down. It shouldn't land on too much redstone. There are enough holes here that it should flow out of the way, so it shouldn't be too high risk, but we definitely don't want lots of water flowing in here. So I've got to do a bunch of that around each module, and that's going to be very time consuming. Okay, so one thing I noticed as I was going around this, let's get a bit of height to show you, is that as I did more of these lines, I managed to get them quite flat like this and get them diagonal, which I think is much easier to read on this new design of linking from there to there. When I started, I was having to use these blocks to stop the redstone sort of bleeding into other lines, so I think what I'll do to make it look nicer is take what I've done here and move it over to the left. So a bit of extra work, but I think it'll look nicer and make bug fixing easier. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And yeah, I'll bring you back in once that's done. This is just one of those things where I prefer things to look a bit neater. It's just my own personal preference. But I think in the long run, it's just easier to look around something when it looks simple. And yeah, and it helps you understand something. I think if you have to rebuild it several times, that helps you understand. So this is the problem here where we've got the redstone going together, but I think we can fix that. So based on the signal strength we've got here, we'll put one of these down. Let's go have a look. Where is this coming in? Oh, I lost a repeater. There we go. And look for where the sparkles stop. Okay, and that's another module working. So yeah, I'm just going to do a bit more of this. But I think if when you're building stuff you can make it look pretty, or easy to read, or symmetrical, I think that's always worth the effort in my book to get it looking good. So I'm just going to move these over to the other side, make them look a bit neater. Give ourselves just a little bit more space to work with. I'm really glad they've added that to Bedrock, the ability to kind of jump down and sort of crouch into spaces like this with your elytra. Okay, so yeah, I'll do a bit more of this, and yeah, I'll come back. Okay, so back we are. If I just jump up here and have a quick look, we've got it all flat. It's a slightly different pattern, which is slightly irritating, but that's because the counting part of the redstone isn't quite lined up centrally. It's off by a couple of blocks, but it's yeah, it's working. So we've got all the lines, they're on the same level, much easier to read. I've done the same with the bottom level as well. So things are close by. I might need to fill some of these blocks with stone so you don't get stuck if you're ever looking through there. But it's working, and we can sort of see a module will work if it gets powered by redstone. That'll push all the blocks up, and then when it counts down, it'll come down. So one thing we've got to do now is do that counting test. So we put a map in our hand. Over here I've got a temporary button. So this is on the add line. So if I get a map in our offhand, in fact, just to make it easier to see, if we put a torch there, that's better. So all I'm going to do now is press this button a few times, and I'll time lapse this so you don't have to suffer through it. And we should see the cards at the bottom of the map filling in as we do. Okay, so we can see that all of the cards have sort of been selected. That's not right. The cards are all up. We can see them on the map. So if we look at the map, it's showing we have kind of 40 cards. If you have more than 40 cards, it'll continue counting, and it just won't display them. So we can see all these modules are up. At the end of the game, there's a module here which we can simulate, and this just clears down the system. So it's an observer clock. I've had to slow it down a bit over there because otherwise it's too fast. But if I just go and stand in front of the map again, you can just see that the cards are now sort of clearing out of the system. So you should have no more than 40 cards. The system stops you putting them at the beginning of the game, but you can see these counting down all the way to 0 cards. And then we put that in there, and that's just a quick way of stopping it. So the card counting works. So So now we need to do the other modules, which are the Frost Embers, Treasure, Hazard Block, and Clank Block. These are slightly bigger. So these ones here, they're 2 by 3. And if we go back here, we can find the first system, which is Clank Block. And these, I think, are 5 by 5. Now, check the counting redstone here that I'm kind of walking on at the moment. If I just go right to the end. This all works fine. So all I really need to do is tear this out for each module and replace this 5 by 5 with the same approach we've done down there with the slime and the honey blocks, and put the obsidian around the outside so we don't sort of pull and push these blocks. So I'll do that now, and then I can hopefully show you some of this working. Oh, that was fun. So the next thing I want to show you is down here. So it's worth noting this, that when the items are added or removed, so this is the top line, which is Frost Embers. So this is Frost Embers. It's got this combination here, and you see this quite a lot in Java, where there's a note block, an observer, a block, and then something else here. And what that's doing is it's pushing these items over to do the counting. But as you can see, nothing's coming out of the dropper because, again, for some reason in Bedrock, observers can't really see note blocks doing something. So because we got stuff at the other end, I think the simplest way to do this is just to put some redstone on like that. And that should be enough. So if I just break this here, we can place a block. Yeah, we can see an item coming out. So that's fine. So that's the approach we'll take down here. We've got 64. So I'll go and update all of these the same way for each module, just so that we know that the signal is going to get to these counters. Okay, now what we can do is we can tell the game it's on again, and we can go down to the card system, and most importantly the thing behind the card system, which takes the cards and applies the effects, so sneak and clank block and those kind of things. So this will be a quick test. Now this is only really going to work, I think, for the nearest stuff, because we have a slight problem around the area being loaded. So I think for sneak and stability, so let's start with stability. This should give us, it'll block 2. So let's put it in, and we should get 2 hazard block appear on our map. And again, the system behind this, I've not fully tested, so it may be slightly off, but yeah, we got 2 there. That's cool. Let's do sneak. Again, that should give us 2 on clank block. Okay, it did give us 2, but it took a while to get there. Then we have something like Treasure Hunter. So Treasure Hunter That should give us 4 treasure, but I think Treasure Hunter's going to be too far away on this map, so I think it's going to be outside of our simulation distance. And sure enough, I think it is. And we know this works because we've pressed the button over there. Let's just try Ember Seeker. I think we're going to get the same result. And as we test Ember Seeker, I think we're going to see exactly the same result. It's too far away. So we can test this very quickly to rule out it being the redstone between here and there, because we know it works over there and works here, by having a player go and load that section. So let's get a player standing on the map. Hello.
Hello. Bye.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. Back inside. Okay, so now we've got our player standing on the map. We can tell the game it's on again. Well, not the game, the map. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to where we were, and we can just test those other lines and see if we get treasure and Ember Seekers. So let's go over there now and jump, 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 jump. Okay. So we need a map. Okay, now we have our player on the map and we have a map, which kind of helps. So now let's do the same test again. So we'll put sneak in and we'll do these quickly. Stability. So these ones should stay on the map, whereas frost embers and treasures disappear. So let's put treasure in next. So this should be full treasure. And then Ember Seeker, which should be 2 frost embers. So we can see Hazard Clank there. Treasure's not there. And what about frost embers? Yeah, frost embers are there as well. So we've got those. So something's wrong with treasure. So it's got to be the redstone somewhere between here and the map. So let's go and have a look. Okay, so I'm down below where we were. So this is the part of the system that will create all the effects. The redstone down here will sort of pulse the treasure and the sneak systems. I think I found the fault. This here is the treasure line. And if I break that torch, you can see it's not pulling that slime block, which then pulls the redstone at the bottom, which pulses the treasure system. And that's because there's a dropper here. I think it's joining up there. I'm not sure what it's doing, but I think it's what this has done is it's exceeded the push limit. So if I just break that now and try and catch this. Yeah, you can see it's moved up and it's moved down. So we'll work out what that dropper was doing later. But for now, let's go up to the top again. And we can see if we've now got our treasure work. Well, it looks like we've got a ton of treasure. So that might be because we pulsed it a little too long there. But let's put this in and see if we get a couple more treasure. In fact, let's reset this and come back and try again. Okay, let's try again. So we've got treasure hunter. So we want 4 treasure. Again, the systems may not be entirely accurate, so it may or may not give us 4 treasure. It might give us more or less. But let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's giving us slightly less, but that could be more to do with the treasure system that we've not looked at yet. But this is positive because this shows that the map is working. Now, we do have to have a player on there. It's not just about loading the area, because I did look at using the ticking area command, so we could set the entire map as a ticking area, but it still needs someone holding a map and looking at it. So I think now that this looks like it's working, and we've got the card part of it counting, the card counting bit working, and that's, oh, if I stop falling down, that's something I can show you. I've had to adjust this again, so I've just put in a little clock to count. And then on the other end, I've used we just get up to the other end quickly. So here we are on the other end of the add line, and all I've done here is very similar to what we have elsewhere. is this is just going to push items into here, and then this will clock, and then this will increment the counter. So I've updated this just to make it more reliable with the redstone that we have at the other end of the system. So now that all this works, we can do a test run and see if the map works. So that's our reward. Let's go do it. So once again, in goes the deck. Here's the minecart for our ride down, and let's go into the dungeon and this time get our map. The doors are still broken, and let's see if we got the cards showing on the map. Well, we can see our 2 cards. Oh, we do get a compass. Okay, we've got some weird music, so let's try and move away from that. So this is a level 1 artifact. We've got the drones on again. We still have the problem with the Ravagers not really being spaced out because the zoning isn't working. That's something we want to look at pretty soon. That jukebox noise is kind of ruining us. Kind of ruining the experience. So let's go around this way just to see where we are. One of our cards is played. Oh, it's treasure. We can see the treasure on the map. Got to pay attention to this. It's hard when you don't have the sounds to pay treasure. I heard some dinging. Okay, so the Ravagers aren't going to be spaced out. I also looked into the artifacts, and I did do the wrong level. I went in stock level 2 instead of level 1, so that'll be pretty cool. So we've got Clank block as well. So that card's played. So we can see on the map that both cards have played, and we don't know if the treasure system's working properly. That's one thing we've got to look at. So if we go over here, I don't know if the Shrieker's working. We're going to find a Shrieker to test the Clank block. But we've got to test the Clank and Treasure and Hazard at some point. So like I say, this kind of treasure that's getting dropped in the dungeon, this is probably the passive treasure. I still need to go around and update things. Oh, ding dings. Yeah, down here. Yeah, I seem to have been a little bit inconsistent with where I've done this. So I think I did some of level 1 and then I got a bit lost in the dungeon and ended up updating level 2 from what I've seen. Probably because that's ground level. Then we got our friend up. Oh, we've lost our Clank block. Wow, it's really hard to focus on the map and move around at the same time. It definitely is good to hear those audio cues, which we don't have at the moment. So we've used our Clank block. Treasure's not going to drop by the look of it. I think there's something wrong with the treasure system. So we can have a look at that. So I think we need to go in here. So again, all the zoning for Ravagers doesn't work. So if we come across a Ravager, we can't sort of just jump into another section and escape them. They can follow because there's berries under there which are stopping Ravagers from sort of crossing the line because they're scared of berries. So that's something we need to get fixed. More dings. So it looks like we're going to be in that main room. Or maybe not. I think we might be where that Ravager is. That's going to be inconvenient. Okay, so we've got 7 decked out coins of various different flavours. Okay, I can't even remember if there is a dropper in here. Okay, there's 2 guys. This guy will be able to come through here, so let's just pull him through. And then we can have these guys spaced out a bit more. They shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah! They shouldn't be able to do that in the normal game. So again, we got to work on how these guys are... I'm getting lost. Oop, got Hazard. Yeah, we've got to work on how we zone these guys again So I need to get back around there. So I need to go through here. Get out here. And then we're going to have to pull one of the guys out and try and loop them. Caves of Carnage Key. Looking forward to getting down to that level. Okay. Okay, can you see me? Or are you stuck? Mr. Poopy Head. Looks like you're stuck, but I know you're going to kill me. Why are Ravagers so buggy? Oh, so we can see a card that's played. That means that's a stumble. And the heartbeat sounds a little bit faster. Can I get past this guy? Let's go back round the other way. So yeah, as stumble cards play, you'll see them sort of flash up on as a card and then disappear as they get added to our deck and then played in the game. Two Ravagers there. I've seen them get stuck there before. I think they're trying to pathfind somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah, I can definitely hear the heartbeats gone up. It's, yeah, I left you there, didn't I? Oh, how's it everywhere? Okay. I've seen what the pros do. You loop you around here and then try and break line of sight. Can I do that, or are you going to still follow me? Okay, I'm getting loads of treasure. Loads of treasure as it gets harder. Oh, greedy for treasure. But that heartbeat is not good. And I'm not playing this game very well. Is there one in here? So, know what's going on with that Ravager. Multi-grain waffle. There was one down here. Then we've got to get out. Probably going to be getting to max Clank pretty quickly. And that... Don't know what's going on with that Ravager. He's kind of just staring at the wall. He's probably just a bit tired, maybe. How do we get out of here? This is horrible. And I think we have some Evoker still in. Oh, come on, these glass panes. Okay. We may not get out. Yeah, let's just set everything off as we go out. I think this is definitely a let's send it. There's a bat. This definitely sounds like bad time Clank. That's closed. That's closed. Okay, I've got to jump on these. That's closed. Yeah, you can hear the heartbeat. Sounds really glitchy. Okay, I think we got lucky. Okay, yeah, we definitely got lucky. Were we meant to get 7? I wasn't paying attention to what the waffle was. I thought it might be 8. Okay, so we should have our artifact. Oh, there are some of these trying to pop up. So the shop is trying to work a bit, but it's definitely broken. And like always, we can't really take any of this with us, so we'll just leave it behind here in case we need that again. Let's put the map in as well. So yeah, there's stuff working to our advantage and disadvantage because ravages are getting stuck. Some of them are glitchy, some of them in the wrong place, but they can also de-zone themselves, which is good in some cases and really bad in others. So yeah, we just got to kind of work with those things. But we got out again. It's a test run, so this doesn't, I think, really count. But let's see if we can find this ravager. And the button. Oh, it's the button. I don't know if ravagers are slower in Bedrock. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll take 2 test ones and let's go get our reward. Hello. Okay, so the map worked. Did we get our stuff back? We did. We got a multi-grain waffle. And we got our 2 cards that we're expecting back. So we've got our pupper's slippers as well. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. That looks like it... Hello. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That looks like it works. We've got the map sort of adding things. Treasure looks broken. That's something we need to take a look at. But yeah, the map is generally working. So that's pretty cool. So now we've got the map working. It's just the other systems we need to think about, like treasure's the main one. We've got a couple of options here of what to do next. I think we've got ravages that are broken, the treasure system that's broken, and sound that's broken. So we'll look at one of those next time, or maybe a couple of them. But until next time, that's my face. See you next time. Bye. Let's see if we can move this guy. Yep. Hello.